Hello, my name is George Wood, and I am the host of Flights of Fantasy. This is the first television show dedicated to the world of collectible arts, comic books, cards, science fiction, horror, and the other aspects of our hobby. Our first guest to pop in is Scott Hanna, one of the owners of Twilight Zone Comics here in Bowie. Hi, Scott. How are you today?
Hi, George. How are you doing today?
All right, good. Well, I wanted you to be our first guest because you're somebody who's in the business. And so I would think it would be real important on our first show to give everybody a feeling as to what the industry is about, what kinds of things they can expect, and the sorts of things that are happening, the trends that we can expect to see in the future.
Well, there's a lot of exciting things that have been happening with comics. Within the last 10 years, the industry started giving more royalties and other perks to the artists and writers to put out a much better, much glossier, much finer product. As you can see some of these samples here. Another thing to interestingly note is that comics are in their all-time high as sales because of this. Right now the fans, the readers are all seeing something really good. It's a good entertainment form, good art form. It's just there's a lot out there right now, as you probably know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, then why do you think that folks want to collect comics?
I think one thing, they like it for the entertainment, just like a video or a movie. Mm-hmm. They like it for the art, and another thing, they like it just for an investment. Because a lot of these books are appreciating in price at rates sometimes hundreds of percentage points per month even.
It depends on really all kinds of different factors there, who the artist is, who the company is, what character is being shown in the book, what aspects are happening in the comic. So that investment aspect alone is a whole nother subject that we're going to be delving into much greater depth in a later show.
There's a lot of psychological aspects out there too. Sometimes just a really fancy cover could be all that it takes to get a book to sell out, and you'll have tons more people buying one issue of a certain title that usually doesn't sell hardly at all each month. That drives the price up in the book. The limited supply and demand being high just because it's a fancy looking title, the cover that looks really good on something, you know, will really make the book sell.
Okay, they also now using the fancy covers, almost what we want to call as gimmick covers, to get people to draw in, to maybe read a comic that they haven't read before, or to enhance what you might want to say the newsstand appeal or the saleability of an already established comic. For example, for this anniversary issue of Spider-Man, which was a 30th anniversary Spectacular Spider-Man, this was the first comic with a 3D holographic cover. I don't know how well this is showing up, but hope you can get the idea of the kinds of sophisticated techniques that are now being used for the comic industry itself.
And it's interesting to note that this book did go into a second printing. In fact, this is the second printing of the book. This was the first wave of the Spider-Man holographic covers. This one came out, I guess it was, what, about a year ago?
Yeah.
And that was it had a silver overtone where this one's gold. So the second printings of a lot of these books have started to abound in the gold form versus the silver, and sometimes even the gold editions had lower print runs, so making a second print even worth more than a first print a lot of times. There was about 3 other different Spider-Mans, because there's 4 titles each month put out of Spider-Man. They have 4 different Spider-Man titles. They've got Spectacular Spider-Man, the Web of Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, and Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, which is this one. They also have the regular one, which is called Spider-Man. And what they did was they started making these limited edition, since Spider-Man's been around for 30 years, this was the first one that came out of the holographic covers. So each of the 4 flagship titles had a special different holographic cover, which So at some points in the show, we'll be giving you some samples of what they look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly, and now that these fancy covers are starting to take shape, you're going to be seeing them much more often on many different types of books throughout the whole industry.
Exactly.
Another trend that they're using now in the industry is the inclusion of trading cards, because there's been a big emergence in the past 2 years of the sports cards people and the comics people coming together in the form of a comic collecting card. They're called non-sports trading cards, and generally they're used as a tie-in to introduce you to a book. For example, X-Force #1 was the first one that came with the included trading cards.
Exactly.
And that had a card of, it had 5 different copies of the book that had a trading card of the different characters. So for the true collector, you had to buy all 5 of the books. So you've got the books themselves plus the trading cards to have your set. And within that set, because it's a team book, there were characters such as Cable and such as the whole team card,
exactly,
which actually have more of a collector's value than some of the lesser known characters. So the cards themselves now have an inherent value. And so by combining the cards and the book, you're starting to get a big trend of money coming in from the outside the normal comic market. Typically those people who may have collected sports cards and then stopped because of their expense, or someone who's just caught by the eye-catching graphics. For example, this is a new book by Topps. Topps has now just entered the comic collecting market. The comic market, they are one of the premier manufacturers of sports cards. They've been manufacturing sports cards for about 50 years.
There's a lot of renewed speculation on their stock because of this reason.
Exactly. And one of the things that they have done is they've reintroduced one of the grand old men of the comic industry, Jack Kirby.
Exactly.
Now, he's got his own line of heroes, which really aren't new heroes, but they're heroes that he invented years ago that have never been used by any other companies, that have been licensed by Topps. He's had a lot of guest work here. For example, Roy Thomas is an old Marvel and DC writer who's been around forever. Steve Ditko was one of the original, in fact, he was the original penciler of The Amazing Spider-Man. So the first issues, first 6 or 7 issues of Spider-Man, Ditko was on it. So they're bringing a lot of the older guard people back into the scene now. And one of the things that they're using to entice people to buy this particular magazine is, I don't know how well this will show up on the screen, but there is a trading card here.
It's nicely embossed.
Which is a foil embossed card. In fact, I'm going to open this one up and show you. Because these are kinds
Jack
of things.
Kirby, who's doing this book, has been around for a long time. He's been around since the 40s doing comics. It's a long time. So his art's not up to par as it used to be. So some of the graphics in this comic might not be the best thing out there, but it's kind of reminiscent just to see Jack Kirby back out doing a comic. There's a lot of comic buffs that really just like seeing him do stuff right now.
Yeah. So this is an example of the card. This is called a Kirby Chrome card because it's all Kirby artwork. The card is foil embossed, quote, the chrome aspect of it. And these are the types of cards that you find in the card sets that are dedicated to the comics and to the characters as what they call chase cards, which are the more expensive cards that are placed into the sets.
Exactly.
So now they're showing you what Topps can do, because now that Topps is entering into the comic market, be prepared. There will be Topps comic-related cards coming out soon. In fact, this month there's a whole set of brand new Star Wars cards coming out by Topps.
And they have random inserts, foil cards, which are really nice and glossy and embossed, kind of like this. That's what kind of gives it the card collecting business with the comic-related cards, as well as baseball cards, which kind of stems off of that. The randomness of getting one of these foil cards, which there's a limited production run on, it makes it very interesting and kind of exciting.
That's one of the changes that have happened in the comic business over about the past 2 or 3 years. What other